These last 7 years have been a roller coaster, up and down. I had to listen to all the that people said about me, and tonight, it was worth it.
Jayson Tatum's career has been decorated at every single level, and his dreams as a young boy seem to be fulfilled every single day. National Player of the Year in high school, playing for Duke University and Coach K in college, going on to be the 3rd pick in the NBA draft, playing for the historic Boston Celtics franchise, the greatest in the NBA's history, and being able to write his legacy as one of the best basketball players on the planet.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jayson Tatum is 21 years old. My God, is he coming.
Tatum drives down and throws it down! Wow!
As the Boston Celtics transcended eras from the Isaiah Thomas era to the Kyrie Irving era, a new era was thrust upon them, with Jayson Tatum leading the charge. And throughout his time leading the Celtics, they've gone so close to winning it all, until this year.
It's a surreal feeling. We did it. We did it! Oh my God, we did it!
So how did he become the face of the basketballing world and an NBA champion? This is the story of Jayson Tatum. Jayson Tatum grew up in St. Louis, Missouri.
It was tough. We had a lot of tough times living here. I remember the nights we didn't have anything to eat. And 2 doors down, I remember our neighbor named Donna. She fed us many a nights. I would walk out and I would go over there and I would knock on the door and she'd give us the chicken pot pie. And we'd heat it up and my mom would let me eat the middle of it and she'd eat the crust on the outside. You know, so shout out to Donna. She definitely took care of us. You know, those nights when we didn't have anything to eat.
Tatum lived a tough life growing up. Despite that, he ended up going to a college prep school, Chaminade.
Hi, my name's Jayson Tatum, and one reason I came to Chaminade was because of sports, mainly basketball. You know, for all the great kids here that play basketball, like one Anthony Novelli.
He struggled a little bit with the classes, not growing up from a great schooling background. But that didn't stop his play on the court. As a freshman, he averaged 13.5 points, 6 rebounds, and was named Co-Conference Player of the Year. His sophomore year, he exploded, averaging 26 and 11. And as a junior, he became a national commodity, getting second-team Naismith All-Trophy honors, averaging 26, 11, and 3 assists. Before his senior year, Tatum made a verbal commitment to Duke University over North Carolina, Kentucky, and SLU. He wrapped up his high school days as the Gatorade National Player of the Year and a McDonald's All-American. Being ranked as the number 3 overall recruit led Tatum to have high expectations going into his Duke debut. Duke was only 1 year off of a national championship, and now they have one of the best players in the country on their team, and he clearly showed it. In his only second college basketball game ever, he had 22 points and 8 rebounds in a victory over Florida at the Jimmy V Classic. And going into conference play, Duke was ranked number 5 in the country. But Duke struggled a little bit, and they dropped it down a bit in the rankings after losing to Florida State, Louisville, NC State, and Virginia Tech. But they started to turn things around and won 6 straight games going into the game against number 14 Virginia, which was a Tatum standout game. He dropped 28 points and 8 rebounds in a win. This momentum carried into the ACC tournament, where they won when Jayson Tatum was the leading scorer in every game. The NCAA tournament saw a disappointing exit to South Carolina.
With the 3rd pick in the 2017 NBA Draft, the Boston Celtics select Jayson Tatum from Duke University.
The Boston Celtics were not supposed to get Jayson Tatum. They were not supposed to get Jaylen Brown at the 3rd pick the year before, but it happened. The Celtics were supposed to be in a rebuilding era after offloading Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, and Ray Allen. But Danny Ainge trading away Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce to the Brooklyn Nets is exactly what opened up what seems like a championship window now. The team made the conference finals in the previous year, and they added Jason Tatum and Kyrie Irving. With a team that included Gordon Hayward, Kyrie Irving, and 2 number 3 overall picks, in addition to solid role players, this was Boston's time. And Jason Tatum was just the new hope in the city. And even only as a rookie, he started showing out, averaging 14 points per game in 80 regular season games played in his rookie season. Not only was it a transition to the NBA, it was a transition into becoming a father, as in 2017, Jason Tatum had his new son born, Deuce.
You ain't mean to do that. You ain't mean to do that.
He's made me mature.
I'm Jason Tatum. I'm looking at ways to improve my game. I'm really good at posting up. I'm really good in isolation. I'm really good at creating opportunities. But where I could get better is the opportunities to catch and shoot. But simplifying the game by using the screen off the ball to put myself in pockets to be able to catch and shoot. If I could figure out how to do that with my game, it'll take my game to another level. It'll make us a better team, and the sky's the limit.
And after showing off in the playoffs, in a run to the Eastern Conference Finals, where he only lost to LeBron, the world was put on notice by Jason Tatum. And I think everybody was expecting for him to take the next leap. It wasn't originally supposed to be Jason Tatum's team, but he made it his own. So let's take a look at his progression from his rookie season to now.
When you talk about length, size, athleticism, skill set, that's Jason Tatum. You can't deny that. He's a top 5 talent in the league, arguably a top 5 player in the league. I'm looking at Jason Tatum, the mentality.
His second season saw slight increases in his averages, but his third season was when the Celtics put their full faith in him.
I'm one of the best basketball players in the world. You know, go through struggles, go through slumps. It's a long game. And, you know, thankfully I got some great teammates that held it down.
After losing Kyrie Irving to the Brooklyn Nets in free agency, the Celtics cornered around Jason Tatum as their superstar. He averaged 23 points per game and became an all-star for the very first time. He led the Celtics to the playoffs, where they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals, only to lose to the Miami Heat. And after that season, Tatum and the Celtics agreed to a rookie maximum extension of 5 years, $195 million.
The player I want to draft to be able to go get me one down the stretch. Go get me one. Go in an isolated situation.
And I mean, Tatum started delivering for the Celtics. You want to talk about points? He went from 23 a game to 26 to 30 a game. You want to talk about team success? They finished 3rd, 7th, 2nd, and 1st. Jason Tatum had clutch moments and big-time performances to lead the Celtics to 3 Eastern Conference Finals. A threat on the offensive end and a stout defender, the only thing that's missing from Jason Tatum's resume is a chip.
I'm trying to say to you is this, it's polished, but he is ascending before our very eyes. Jason Tatum is now scratching the surface of what we are on the verge of witnessing. And when I look at him, his ball handling skills, his sidestep, his step back, his three, his ability to drive and finish at the basket, he can do it all, and he plays defense.
Let's talk through some of Jason Tatum's achievements in his short period in the NBA so far. He's a 5-time NBA All-Star, NBA All-Star Game MVP, 3-time All-NBA First Team, All-NBA Third Team, and the NBA All-Rookie First Team. He led the entire NBA in total points in the 2023, has the 2nd most points in the decade, the 3rd most wins in the decade, and is one of 3 NBA players to score 60 points without committing a turnover.
When you think about Jason Tatum, it's that fear of reaching his potential of greatness, of being the best in the world.
In Greek mythology, there's a character named Cepheus, and he was cursed by the Greek gods. His punishment was to roll a boulder up a hill repeatedly.
When I look at the game last night, it wasn't the Celtics defense. It wasn't that all of a sudden they started to make shots. No, Jason Tatum all of a sudden decided that I'm going to be the best player on the floor.
And as Cepheus got closer and closer to the top of the mountain, it would always roll back down. Now Jason Tatum, since he's came into the NBA, has gotten so close to the championship.
But right now, there's the concern for the Boston Celtics. He's grabbing his right shoulder. And yet another player going down with...
Everyone knows that Boston is building towards an NBA championship. They want banner number 18, and they want Jason Tatum to lead the way. Instead, you see a guy who struggled in the fourth quarter. I think it was 1 for 5, I think, in the fourth. You see a guy that only shot the ball 13 times in the game.
This is tough. Getting to this point and not accomplishing what we wanted to, it hurts. Physically it's draining, mentally is, exhausting. Everybody is coming up and saying, next year, or, you did a good job. And it's just like constant reminder of like, you lost. You lost.
And by age 25, Jason Tatum had played in 94 playoff games, made the conference finals 4 times, and the NBA Finals once. But his boulder kept rolling back down the hill until 2024.
Do you think that this is the best team that you've played on? Is it better than the 2022 Finals team?
Yeah, it is.
Coming into the 2024 playoffs, the Celtics were the #1 team in the NBA, with all the pressure and expectation on their backs to finally win.
Beat the Heat!
Without the Boston Celtics, the city of Boston wouldn't be the same.
And the first round matchup was against those Miami Heat that they've lost to. He averaged a double-double, putting up 21 points and 10 rebounds in a 5-game series where the Celtics beat the Heat.
And, we just talked about it in the fourth quarter. It's 12 minutes. Our season is on the line. Everybody knew what was on the line, what we had to do. And we said all the time, find a way. Whatever that way is, it may be different any given night, but we figured it out tonight.
After beating the Cavs, a face-off with the upstart Pacers. After some tightly contested matches, it took the Celtics 4. When it comes to Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and this Celtics team, you just think about all the players that have come before them. And it makes you realize that these two players will go down in Boston Celtics history as one of the greats, if they were able to close out the series versus the Dallas Mavericks in the NBA Finals. Game 1, Tatum struggled. He put up 16 points and 11 rebounds, but the Celtics got the dub. Game 2 was more of the same. Tatum won on his home court, putting up a near triple-double. But all they did was take care of business. If they wanted to win this series, they'd have to win in Dallas. And Game 3 is where Tatum took over, dropping 31 points and swinging the series firmly in Boston's favor. All it took was one more game, and after the Celtics blew Game 4 in Dallas, they came back home and did it, and closed it out in Game 5. Jason Tatum was now an NBA champion.
They all got plenty to say. That I don't have what it takes. That I'm not it. That I can't lead. Can't close. Can't win it all. Well, maybe they'll stop talking now. Then again, maybe it's best they don't.